get it wrong with Rico, because he does use that to his advantage. He's very nippy, and he's got low center of gravity. Easily gets past big players.
There's certainly one to watch out for. Rico, really impressed. Caused all sorts of problems to Tampanese's defence, though I think it'll be a very different prospect today. Look at him trying to close down. It's cool as you like from Sinam. Yes, Olaha, who you've been impressed with.
Well, he works absolutely hard. I mean, he's not this... Usually we see why teams take foreign strikers from a certain continent. You want a big clump striker focusing on the box, trying to get the goals, but not with Olaha. He works for the team, gets into great areas. If he needs to be on the left, gets down. If he needs to defend, he does it. Great team player to have.
Well, Danny Lescanu with some nifty footwork. Just apologises to his teammate as he concedes a free kick. Well, meanwhile, as you might be able to hear from the crowd, stuff going on up the other end. Fans still streaming in. It is an early kick-off in these parts. And gets us underway for another busy evening of AFC Champions League and AFC Cup action. Out towards Xuantuan. Olaha won't get to that. And it's the new man in, Vava, who gets that away. Well, very different sort of physical specimen compared to Jameson. Olaha got a touch. Away by Rezaldi. Simic will chase, and he did chase quite a bit. He really did press from the front, didn't he? A lot of pressure on that Tampines defence. And they knew they could do that with the Tampines defence. Free kick this time goes to the home side. Few players to aim for here. Sofian with some excellent deliveries on match day 2. We would look at Vava. There's one of the players. Simic, of course, fantastic in the air. Though he should have scored a point-blank header last week. Vava, one of the taller players at 1.8. His skipper, Nok Hai, gets it away. Well, you have to say, it's been very positive from Persija in these opening stages.
I think what I was impressed in that Songlam versus Johor Taksim game was purely that midfield that Songlam has. They work tirelessly and with the plan, tactically very disciplined, especially in defense. Hosai Sam was my man of the match, the number 8, because he just puts so much pressure on any midfielder. He just closes every space in that midfield, and if he can't, he makes a foul, an intelligent foul, so it just makes life so difficult.
A few players to look for. Advantage for Songlam Nian, and for those of you who watched the game at Gelora Bung Karno, what a lovely surface they have over there.
Well. Touches on the ball, they were not able to play.
Hat-trick last week, he'll be the man to watch out for to get the goals, but boy did they have some fantastic players. Rico on that right-hand side really caused lots and lots of problems. They looked spectacular when they were going forward. You also got to look at their fullbacks. It looks like, at the moment, just confirmed that Rezaldi may have just gone into central defense position rather than being a fullback, and I think that just negates some of his effectiveness, because he really was superb. Well, there he is on the ball now. I think he is going to be in a fullback position. There's Sofyan. And it was the fullbacks that get plenty of width. They really did cause all kinds of problems. Win Nokai. Win Sainam. He's the man with the pace, isn't he? Rico can cause all sorts of problems. Diminutive player, but massive in stature.
Well, I mean, at times, if you don't concentrate on him and you think that you can win the aerial duels or physically you can get the better out of him, I think that's where you get it wrong with Rico, because he does use that to his advantage. He's very nippy, and he's got low center of gravity. Easily gets past big players.
There's certainly one to watch out for. Rico, really impressed. Caused all sorts of problems to Tampanese's defense, though I think will be a very different prospect today. And look at him trying to close down. It's cool as you like from Sainam. Yes, Olaha, who you've been impressed with.
Well, he works absolutely hard. I mean, he's not this... Usually we see why teams take foreign strikers from a certain continent. You want a big clump striker focusing on the box, trying to get the goals, but not with Olaha. He works for the team, gets into great areas. If he needs to be on the left, gets down. If he needs to defend, he does it. Great team player to have.
Well, Danny Lestalou with some nifty footwork. Just apologises to his teammate as he concedes a free kick.
The ball, they were not able to play, and you just got to adapt to it, because you got a job ahead of you. Get the result, if at all, if you can play the way you want to play.
Yes, certainly, of course, that might be a little bit of an advantage for Song Lam Nian. And for those of you who watched the game at Gelora Bung Karno, what a lovely surface they have over there. Well.
Touches on the ball, they were not able to play.
Hat-trick last week, he'll be the man to watch out for to get the goals, but boy, do they have some fantastic players. Rico on that right-hand side really caused lots and lots of problems. They looked spectacular when they were going forward. You also got to look at the fullbacks. It looks like at the moment, we'll just confirm that Rizaldi may have just gone into central defense position rather than being a fullback, and I think that just negates some of his effectiveness, because he really was superb. Well, there he is on the ball now. I think he is going to be in a fullback position. There's Sofyan. And it was the fullbacks that get plenty of width. They really did cause all kinds of problems. Win Nokai. Win Sainam. He's the man with the pace, isn't he? Rico can cause all sorts of problems. Diminutive player, but massive in stature.
Well, I mean, at times, if you don't concentrate on him and you think that you can win the aerial duels or physically you can get the better out of him, I think that's where you get it wrong with Rico, because he does use that to his advantage. He's very nippy, and he's got low center of gravity. Easily gets past big players.
There's certainly one to watch out for. Rico, really impressed. Caused all sorts of problems to Tampanese's defense, though I think will be a very different prospect today. And look at him trying to close down. It's cool as you like from Sainam. Yes, Olaha, who you've been impressed with.
Well, he works absolutely hard. I mean, he's not this... Usually we see why teams take foreign strikers from a certain continent. You want a big clump striker focusing on the box, trying to get the goals, but not with Olaha. He works for the team, gets into great areas. If he needs to be on the left, gets down. If he needs to defend, he does it. Great team player to have.
Well, Danny Lesfalou with some nifty footwork. Just apologises to his teammate as he concedes a free kick. Meanwhile, as you might be able to hear from the crowd, stuff going on up the other end. Fans still streaming in. It is an early kickoff in these parts. And gets us underway for another busy evening of AFC Champions League and AFC Cup action. Out towards Xuantuan. Laha won't get to that. And it's the new man in, Vava, who gets that away. Well, a very different sort of physical specimen compared to Jameson. Laha got a touch. Away by Rezaldi. Simic will chase, and he did chase quite a bit. He really did press from the front, didn't he? A lot of pressure on that Tampines defence. And they knew they could do that with the Tampines defence. Free kick this time goes to the home side. Few players to aim for here. Sofian with some excellent deliveries on match day 2. We would look at Vava. There's one of the players. Simic, of course, fantastic in the air. Though he should have scored a point-blank header last week. Vava, one of the taller players at 1.8. His skipper, Nokhai, gets it away. Well, you have to say, it's been very positive from Persija in these opening stages.
I think what I was impressed in that Songlam versus Johor Takzim game was purely that midfield that Songlam has. They work tirelessly and with the plan. Tactically very disciplined, especially in defense. Hosai Sam was my man of the match, the number 8, because he just puts so much pressure on any midfielder. He explodes every space in that midfield, and if he can't, he makes a foul, an intelligent foul, so it just makes life so difficult.
A few players to look for in this Songlam lineup. Kakniok is the one who's already stood out there. He is with the ball, but Andratani will get there. A man who had virtually nothing to do until maybe the last 15 minutes of that game against Tampines, and then really didn't look particularly impressive after that. That's quite often the case, isn't it, when you, as a keeper, you're just there as a passenger for most of the time, and then all of a sudden you call to action, suddenly it all goes a bit wrong.
I mean, that's one of the reasons why I think if you're a football avid or you've played the game, or either you're a guy who could speak about football a little bit, you realize that a goalkeeper has not been tested for 80 minutes and then he comes out with a spectacular save. Then you know he's got absolute incredible concentration, focus and awareness. And he's perhaps warming up for 80 minutes while the cameras are on the other side.
Yeah, quite often they'll try to pull off a little bit of a Hollywood save as well, because the cameras are on them after such a long time. There's Rohit Chand, the Nepalese international, a rare find really to find a South Asian plying his trade in this part of the world. I'm going to be generous and call out one of the first few attempts in this match. And that's not going to cause any problems for the standing keeper today, Tran Van Tien. A few Some keeper issues to sort out here. The skipper, Tran Nguyen Man, was injured against Tampines, had to go off. Hasn't been seen since. So now they're on their third and fourth choice keepers at the moment, with Le Van Hung unavailable today. Running all over his man there. Zaldi. Well, here's the key player. Been played at a very intense pace at the moment. I wonder if that's something to do with the temperatures. You watched that game against JDT. Was it sort of this kind of pace for you, Stanley?
Well, yes, it was quite a comfortable pace, played at times pedestrian, and it's a similar start.
All over the top. One for Andratani. At least they're filling up those stands there. There's Maman, launches it forward. Always looking to get Simic involved quickly. Now Rico hasn't really had a chance to run at players just yet. Gives the ball away to Van Duk. Makai launches it. Just gone about their task, Son Lonian. And if you looked at this group on paper, well, they call this the group of death in the AFC Cup. Maybe they're the surprise package so far to be 100% at the moment in this group. I think everyone would have looked at JDT, possibly Persija.
Well, no one would have thought after 2 games they'll be on 6 points, maybe 4 at best. Yeah, certainly a surprise that they're on 6, and it could be more surprising if they go on to win and get that 9 points, because that will put them in a driving seat, and from then it's in their hands.
Absolutely right, and that's what they're aiming for, especially with another home game. Nice little touch here, though. The shot, a real power in that one from Rizaldi, but he does get into great positions. Best attempt we've seen so far. First real attempt.
Well, nice little awareness from Lestahuluhu. He's run across, but he's already seen Rizaldi Menahusa, who I thought got a contact, got kind of a decent contact, but not enough power behind that football to test the goalkeeper.
It's nice movement from Persija so far. They've kind of settled to this game quicker, haven't they?
Well, I think they're positive. That's how you want to start in an away ground. And that was the difference against JDT, where I thought they knocked the ball around and they kind of found the field a bit of an obstacle, but they never changed. And then I thought Songlam, as the game grew further, they got stronger.
Persija certainly were very intense right from the first whistle against Tampines last week. Of course, they were playing in front of their home crowd at the refurbished Bung Karno for the first time in the AFC this year. So that was an added impetus for them, a reason to just give that extra bit as they win a free kick here. Foul on Rohit Chand. Simic standing over that. Have chances from here?
Well, it's quite a distance. I always say it. I mean, the first requirement from this distance is try and put it on target. Because if you just can't hit it on target, no matter how good, how powerful it is.
It's pretty much dead center here. Simic! It's pretty wide in the end. At the moment, it's Persija who are taking the initiative. Just got a little close-up of that goal mark there. That is an absolute nightmare for a keeper.
Well, it is. I mean, especially when you knock a ball, you know, a stinging shot where it takes a bounce. And as soon as it takes a bounce, you don't know where
go
it's
anywhere,
going to
couldn't
go.
it?
Yeah.
If we're just trying to stop a couple of little flashpoints, nothing untoward at the moment, which is good to see. Sainam. Now Van Dijk looking for Olaha. Offside is the call. Referee, by the way, Shalimurat Kurbanov, as are the officials from Turkmenistan. Here's Sofyan. Rico. Chan just trying to get that extra touch on for Simic. Now they're trying to launch that towards Olaha. Got that away, needed to get that right with the advancing Olaha right on his tail. Looking to get Olaha involved as soon as they can. Balls over the top. But he's a man who's, as you said, very happy to go into the channels.
Well, he's also happy to defend.
Comes back, he does his best.
He's a young footballer, 21 years old, and you know, again, it's nice to see that he plays with his heart as much as he's got talent. But as you can see, he plays actually right behind Tuan Tai, the number 10. He doesn't play as an up-and-up striker, and you can understand why, because he's got a bit of footwork, he's got work rate, and he plays for the team.
Certainly caused a lot of problems on match day 1 against Tampines. Took a bit of time to get going in that game, but after that, real issues he caused. Here's Kaknok, who maybe just hasn't quite got going yet. Van Tien with a kick up towards Olaha. Bit stop and start at the moment in this match. It's not helping proceedings. Now Kaknok. Here's a fullback, Sainam. If you've just joined us, this AFC Cup encounter, goals, no goals so far. The procedure coach had said, we have come here to attack, going to defend. Olaha. And to be fair, they haven't sat back yet. They know that they need to get something out of this game to just stop the juggernaut at the moment. That is Songlam Nian, who've really been very good so far in this competition.
Well, despite the game having shown that perhaps Persija has come up with the best attack, good little movement by Estaluhu and Rezaldi Menahusa. But as much as the game progresses in this manner, in what we're watching, it's almost like it's falling into Songlam's plan. It's how they go about just frustrating teams, making it a bit of a stop and start, and then they get a goal out of nowhere.
They're not uncomfortable at the moment, are they? Despite the good movement that we're seeing.
Well, certainly not. It's a funny game to analyze at this point. You can't say any of the teams have had a bit of possession or any creep or any momentum going. And if you look at the last 2 games, that's exactly how Songlam has gone on and got their 6 points.
Just gone about their task. Nothing special. But they've been effective so far. Certainly the game that I commentated on, the first one, it helped that Tampines were pretty woeful in that match. JDT, much different prospect, but they too had their issues last week, of course. Manager quitting and players disappearing and all sorts of problems. It'll be interesting to see what JDT turn up against Tampines later this evening. Stay tuned for that one. I'm expecting my fellow commentator to dish a bit of dirt later on. He's got a big smile on his face. As we have Rezaldi here. Expecting him to bomb forward a little bit more, as he did in that first game. But even the mood of the crowd is fairly subdued at the moment, Stanley.
Well, it's purely of what they're seeing at this moment. They're just reacting to the football that they're seeing. As we mentioned, I mean, a great question you asked. Am I in favor of how the competition has changed and try and make it better? And as long as the football is good on the pitch, I'm a big fan of it. I guess the fans are just reacting at the moment. It's a stop-start game.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. It just hasn't flowed as we'd hoped at the moment. The fact is, you're getting good crowds in. Early kickoff. Foul here on Chuan Kwan. Afraid we didn't get to quite see what happened there. I'm sure we'll have a replay of that shortly, but fair enough to say that Kak Nok had something to do with it. Rightly so, the crowd get a little excited. Could it be one of those games where it's the odd goal that settles issues? Here's Ramdhani Lestaluhu.
I just wonder at times, I mean, that was a pass from the goalkeeper, Adritani. He knocks it to his teammate, and then his teammate, I think it was Abdurrahman, and he knocks it long. So just don't understand a bit that why don't the goalkeeper, who's got all the time in the world to pick where he's going to knock the ball, puts his own defender under pressure.
Also, he was aiming towards that right-hand side. We've got the shortest player on the pitch, Rico, in that area. He launched it to that direction, which is...
Well, it's just simple decision-making. Because all that can happen in a rush of just clearing that ball is that your centre-back is on a right-back position and that ball gets knocked back right into the centre, and you've just caused the counter-attack because of lacking of decision-making.
Little things like that could cost you, Stanley. You need to see this man on the ball a little bit more. Rico hasn't really seen too much of the ball. And that is an appalling throw-in. Straight back to Songlam.